Good morning. So what happened at about 3:30 this morning, the wind picked up, and because I was camped on the beach, I hadn't been able to put any pegs in, and so my tent was only tied with a bit of string to a nearby tree. With the wind picking up, I started to blow around everywhere, and my tent was getting pretty flattened. So I decided in the dark at that stage that I would move my tent, and when it was still light yesterday, I'd found a little spot up under the trees which was flat, so I was always in the back of my mind. But while I was moving all my gear, went back to get the tent, the gust of wind had picked the entire tent up like a spinnaker, and just thank goodness it was still tied to the distant tree, because it just sort of blew it along the beach and impaled it on a broken tree. And if it hadn't been tied, it would seriously have disappeared down the beach. I wouldn't have seen it again. So I got myself all established and have just been back to sleep for a couple more hours. I was camping here, and see there's nowhere to put your pegs, and of course, and that tree is where I had a bit of string tying my tent, and when I had taken everything out of the tent, the whole tent picked up and impaled itself, and this is my food bag hanging on this other thing. The whole tent was sort of impaled up on here. So not a bad effort of putting the tent back up again in the dark, and I had come just from the beaches just here. So just having a last check to make sure I've not left anything behind. I've got to take this lot of stuff down to my kayak, which is just on the lakefront. I'm all packed up, and my plan is I'm going to carry on with the circumnavigation. The wind is picked up quite a bit, there's a few whitecaps on the lake, but I think I'll just have about an hour where I'm paddling into the wind, and then I'll turn and be going down the western shoreline. Hopefully the wind will be at my back then. I camped last night on the opposite side of the bay and just come across to here. You can't really tell, but the wind is coming down through there, but I'm going to just duck around behind here, and with a bit of luck I'm going to be sheltered. So just having a look on the map, and I camped on this point here, and the track through to Tarawera is actually at the head of that bay, and I've come around to the next bay. I'm over here, so should have had a look before I left this morning, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll just carry on following in and out of all these inlets. Just about there at the far end of the lake is where the boat ramp is, and I'm going to carry on ducking in and out of all these little inlets. I've made it into this little wee sheltered bay, and it's amazing how choppy it is out in the lake itself, and
because it's a lake, the wind just comes from every which direction, so it's not that comfortable out there. But hopefully if I can just stick very close to the shoreline, I might just be ducked down enough below these huge hills to be sheltered from that wind. Found myself a little beach to come into. I've actually never kayaked with a swell as high as it is, and some of the waves, or some of the swell, I'm actually surfing off the top. So it is a little bit stressful for me. I'm not used to this, but there's only about 2 kilometres back to the boat ramp, so I'm just going to catch my breath here and then sort of skulk back around as close as I can to the shore, where it's hopefully a little bit more sheltered.